Hi there, my name is Mary Jane, and this is a new YouTube channel. I've created tutorials for those who love to paint. I'm a fabric designer, a seamstress, and an artist, and my business depends on my artwork. So I thought there would be a lot of people out there who would like to see how they can produce beautiful artwork for their business. So get your paintbrushes out and your paints and join me for this tutorial. So as you can see here, we're using a large paintbrush round that has a very tiny tip. So this is great for big strokes and for making tiny details. I'm using Winsor Newton paints. We're going to start with the orange paint. As you can see, we're just splashing it around to make a flower design. And then we're going to put a little bit of red actually in the center and a tiny bit of Payne's Grey. I'm also going to add yellow and purple and some different greens and some Payne's Grey and a little bit of brown. As you can see, the paintbrush is large, so it holds a lot of water. So you've got to be conscious of how much water is on your paintbrush. When you're using large strokes and you want to blend, then a little bit of more water is useful. When you're doing tiny details, then a drier brush is better. Here we're adding the yellow and adding a little bit of brown into the center of this yellow flower. Now I'm deciding where to put the tiny little purple flowers that I wanted to add. The purple is mixed with cobalt blue and rose. It makes a lovely purple. The composition is very important. As you can see, I have 3 flowers. Usually it's better to have an odd number, and they vary in size here. The small purple flowers will add contrast in the composition. I'm now going to add a longer branch of little flowers that will give more dimension to this artwork. You can see how I have put the purple in 3 different places in the composition, which makes it look very attractive to the eye. Now I'm painting some leaves, and I've left a little bit of the purple on my brush and mixed it with my green. This creates a mix on the leaf and creates a very soft leaf with a purple tinge to them. I'm going to continue adding these leaves in different places around the composition. You can see when I use the large paintbrush and it goes onto the flat surface that it seems to get a little lighter and darker in different areas. This is what I love so much about this brush. Now I'm going to add some Payne's Grey, which is very dark. I'm choosing places where I think that it will enhance my artwork. As you can see, I'm leaving a little bit of white space within the leaf, and I'm being very careful not to go over the rest of my painting because some of it is still wet and it will just mingle together and spoil the whole painting. I'm going to continue adding Payne's Grey leaves, and the contrast really brings out the painting. I'm painting in a sketchbook because I want all my tutorials to be in one book. But if you're doing a painting to sell, then you really want to use 100% cotton watercolor paper because the paints definitely will blend a lot better. But this sketchbook is great, especially if you're learning and you just want to practice. And it really suits my needs also here for these tutorials. I hope you enjoy following me along and painting with me, but bear in mind that any artwork that you use from this tutorial is really still copyrighted by me, and it's so much nicer anyway if you can create your own using the tips that I've got here in this video for your own artwork, and then you can do whatever you like with it. I'm adding some little abstract dotted flowers here, and I think it really adds to the painting when you have some tiny pieces of artwork mixed in with the larger pieces. It really adds a lot of interest. Now I'm adding a little bit of Payne's Grey to my green, making it a little darker. And I'm painting a little bit over the top of some of the leaves to give the leaves a little bit more contrast and interest. As you can see, I'm not being too fussy. Now I'm adding more Payne's Grey, and I'm filling in the white spaces in between the flowers. I'm not filling it in totally, but I'm creating a variety of different leaves going in different ways, and this is where you can be creative. One reason why I don't do drawings is because it forces me to be creative on the spot, and often your paintings turn out a lot better that way. But one thing you have to bear in mind is that if you add too many, you can actually spoil your painting. So you really have to know when to stop. So use your judgment and add them in the best places that you can. Some spots I'm adding the paint and they're not in the shape of a leaf. They're just to fill in the area. But when you stand back and look at the painting, it will look like there's more depth to your artwork. This is one place where I am going over the artwork that I've already done. And what it's doing is creating more depth. It's not taking away from the leaves, it's adding detail. Once again, I encourage you not to overdo it. Leave some white spaces. Otherwise, if you don't do that, then you'll be very unhappy with the result. So here I'm adding some more details, tiny details with my Payne's Grey, and filling in any of the little spots that I think needs a little bit more paint. And the dotted flowers, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to bring them out as well. So here I've decided to use a tiny brush. I think it's a 00. And I'm just putting in a few dark lines to give the impression of the veins in the leaves. You don't have to be too precious about this, but it really does add a nice little touch to the artwork. So we're almost finished the artwork. I'd like to encourage you to send me any comments about the artwork. Maybe send me some pictures or questions, anything that you like. Maybe request some flowers. It would be much appreciated. I'm also going to post some links to my website and the other sites that I'm on so that you can find me and have a look at what I do. So I'd love it if you'd share it, subscribe, and press that bell like everyone says, because I'm going to be creating a series of watercolors and I hope that you can follow along with me. Here I'm adding that little bit of yellow which balances out the yellow, and I think it looks really pretty, don't you? Thank you so much for watching my new channel. I really appreciate the fact that you have come on to a new channel. It really encourages me and I look forward to doing many more. I hope that I also get better at doing it since I'm new. But I've really enjoyed doing this tutorial, and I really look forward to doing more with you in the near future. So please come back and watch, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.